Gosh, I'm so behind in reviewing this fragrance. I see that a bunch of people have already launched reviews, but I'm really behind. I'm talking about Mugler's Angel. Do you like this fragrance? Wait, I'm not talking about Mugler's Angel. I'm talking about Bitter Peach from the House of Tom Ford. Are you a fan of this yet? Have you checked it out? Well, I'm going to tell you all about Bitter Peach by Tom Ford Private Blend Collection coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. That's right, we're talking about Bitter Peach, not Mugler's Angel, but it reminds me of Mugler's Angel, so I have a lot to say about this one. So I'll tell you all my honest opinions about this fragrance, which I actually purchased full retail for $350 as a 50 ml bottle. But before we get to the fragrance, if this is your first time tuning into my channel and you still haven't subscribed to my channel, please click the subscribe button below and also click the bell so you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. So I wasn't very excited about Bitter Peach by Tom Ford because peach in a fragrance is just not one of my favorite notes. But you know what? I'm such a huge fan of Tom Ford fragrances. I said I gotta buy it. I couldn't see it at, selling at any of the department stores yet, so I went straight to TomFord.com and ordered a bottle for $350 plus tax. So it's here, and I'm going to tell you all about it. But you know, it really does remind me of this. It really does. So this is a 2020 launch, Tom Ford's Bitter Peach from the Private Blend Collection. Eau De Parfum concentration, 50 ml for $350. Style Oriental. Unfortunately, I don't know who the perfumer for this is. And this actually is also part of the more expensive Private Blend Collection fragrances, collection. And of course, it's overpriced, but you know, I actually am liking it, and I'll tell you all about it. Notes for this one at the top are wild peach, Sicilian blood orange, and cardamom. Heart notes, heliotrope, Davana, rum absolute, cognac, jasmine, sambac absolute. Finally, in the base notes, New Caledonian sandalwood, benzoin, cashmeran, vanilla, Tonka bean absolute, Labdanum absolute, Styrax, Indonesian patchouli. Lots of notes in here, and some of the notes do remind me of what's in this fragrance. And of course, I believe that there's peach in this fragrance, and of course that's why I guess I'm getting the similarities. I'm also getting the fact that there's lots of patchouli in here, and it definitely is here as well. So the first time I sprayed this, I thought to myself, the peach is not one of my favorite notes, but I kind of like it in this fragrance. But then I started smelling something milky, like something lactonic appeared. I was trying to visualize what the notes could be. I almost thought that there might be some ambrette note in here, because ambrette has this kind of slightly milky, musky quality with fruity, slightly boozy nuances. So there could be ambrette in here, but it doesn't seem like it. But to me, I got the smell of it a little bit. But in the end, what happened was the sandalwood appeared, and that's where I was getting the milkiness. It's a very creamy, smooth, milky, as I said, almost lactonic direction of sandalwood, which is my favorite style of sandalwood. I like this kind of sandalwood lots more than the sandalwood in Santal 33 from Le Labo, which seems to be crunchy, crisp, cucumbery sandalwood. This is my favorite kind. So I enjoyed it. I started liking it, and then all of a sudden I'm like, this is reminding me of something I know. What the heck is it? It's Mugler's Angel. Why is it reminding me of that? I don't know, but peach and all the notes combined together really did remind me of Mugler's Angel. And the more I wore it, the peach kind of wore off, and it left me with this kind of like a slightly fruity, peachy. Again, the peach was worn out, but you can still pick out that it's a peachy kind of stone fruit kind of a smell. So it was basically kind of a peachy, fruity, sandalwoody version of Angel. So it was very smooth experience. But you know what? It is definitely an Oriental fragrance, because even though at the top notes you have the peach, and of course you have that Sicilian blood orange, and the blood orange in the top kind of reminds me of Mugler's Ultra Zest. So I'm thinking to myself, God, did this composition totally rip off Mugler inspiration fragrances like Mugler's Ultra Zest with the blood orange, because it reminds me of that in the notes. And of course the patchouli that's in here, that kind of reminds me of Angel from Mugler. So I thought maybe they got a similar or the same perfumer to create this, as I don't know who created it as a perfumer. If you guys know, please do put a comment so I can find out. But it really does remind me of Angel. But the fragrance, of course, settles down to an Oriental. Of course, Angel is an Oriental as well. And what I like about this one, it's got these resinous balsamic touches with the resins in here. Of course, vanilla is also pretty prominent, but the combination of the resinous balsamic notes and of course the vanilla with the sandalwood, that creamy, milky, very, very smooth, lactonic like sandalwood, kind of goes into a very kind of gourmand style of direction. So it's a very, very cozy fragrance, but it's more of a jumpy, cozy fragrance because, of course, I never thought to myself Angel is a cozy fragrance, even though it's a gourmand, and it doesn't act that way. But just the whole fragrance reminds me of Angel. And then I was thinking to myself, God, is it really worth $350 for a 50 ml bottle to have a fragrance that reminds me of this? Because there have been so many flankers of this fragrance done. I mean, I feel like Angel probably is one of the most flankered fragrances out there. I mean, it's been around since 1992, and they have all these fruity takes on the fragrance, all these like leather and everything that they can get, like boozy, anything that they've done just to, you know, kind of do a version of Angel. So it is very, very flankered, as I should say. And I'm a fan. As I said, I'm a fan. I've given it to my mom. She's a fan. We love this thing. So I know my mom will really, truly love Bitter Peach. But do I want to have her smell this, that she'll like it, and I'll have to shell out $350 for her to get this for her? But yeah, it's a great release. Now, the only negatives are here for me is the fact that it's in this more pricey private blend collection of fragrances from Tom Ford. Why couldn't they have put it into the less expensive private blend? I don't know why they're doing this, but personally I feel like the more expensive private blend fragrances should not be Eau De Parfum. I mean, they have the regular private blend, those are Eau De Parfum, and then they have the private blend that's the more expensive, and those are also Eau De Parfum. Can't they make them stronger? Couldn't they make them Extrait de Parfum, or the pure perfume concentration, if I'm going to be paying more? So I don't understand this part about this whole more expensive private blend. I mean, they're giving us a fancy colored bottle. Is that what makes them more expensive, because I'm getting a colored bottle? That doesn't make sense to me. So I wish that they did something where if I'm going to pay more money for a private blend fragrance, then I'm going to get something a little more, you know, stronger, a little more concentrated. But they're giving us kind of these like unique smells, and then, you know, they're putting them in the more expensive collection. They're giving us a fancy looking colored bottle, and I have to end up paying more money for it. So that part I don't understand. And let me know if you guys wished these more expensive private blend collection, of course, cost, if it was going to cost more, then it would be, you know, something a little more unique, that we would get like a more concentration, higher concentration fragrance. Because again, they've had the Fucking Fabulous, and then they did Lost Cherry, they also did Rose Prick, and they're all in the higher price collection, and we're not really getting something stronger. We're just paying more money because we have this more unique bottle. Going back to Lost Cherry, when Lost Cherry was announced 2 years ago, they announced a 250 ml decanter, but you know, I've seen the bottle on the internet and everything, but they never actually released the 250 ml decanter bottle. So basically, when they launched Lost Cherry, it was only launched as a 50 ml bottle like this. Later on, they added a 100 ml bottle like months later, but they never launched a decanter. Similar with this, I think they might have announced a 250 ml decanter, which I've seen online of photos of it, and now I don't see it available, because I would have gone to buy the decanter. It would have been a better value for me when you factor in that the 250 ml bottles are around 800 something. This is 350 for a 50 ml, so it's less than triple the price, and you end up with more juice, kind of a thing. I didn't do the math with the you know, what the actual per mil price would be. But you know, that's a difficult or sad part about this. I'd rather have the decanter bottle if I'm going to be buying these more expensive private blend collection fragrances, because they're really making a ton of money with this particular fragrance. It's $3.50 for a 50 ml, whereas just a few days ago I was complaining that Gucci's the Alchemist Garden collection fragrances are a 100 ml bottle for $3.30. Here it's a 50 ml bottle and it's $20 more than those fragrances. So man, this is really, really expensive. But I am addicted to Tom Ford fragrances. I really love some of their fragrances, and I love the whole class about Tom Ford. I really do. And you know, I'm a collector, so I had to get this. But now that I have it, is it close to Mugler's Angel? Let's compare the two. I'm going to spray this one here, and I'm going to compare with that one there. It's funny, you can totally layer the two fragrances together. It's interesting. This one totally reminds me of this one. In the end, what we do have really, really creamy quality of this one, which this one does not have. There's a little bit of something more rough about this one. Rough as in a little slightly animalic, like almost leathery. And this one, as I said, is very creamy smooth. And it reminds me of that milky sandalwood, but still reminds me that there might be something like ambrette here. Like there's a muskiness in here. Almost a slight bit medicinal, although I think that's the sandalwood, because sometimes sandalwood, creamy sandalwood, can come off a bit medicinal to me. But wow, they're so close. They're really, really close. What I love about Angel is the trail women leave behind. That trail is freaking sexy. I just chase people down because it smells so good. Like when I see a woman walk by that's wearing this stuff, it's one of the best trails ever. Like that trail, freaking phenomenal. I haven't noticed with this one. Obviously I've been wearing it, so I haven't smelled it off me, but I don't think it's gonna leave that trail, because this one is a little different. The other thing is here with this one, as I said, it comes off a little creamy, milky sandalwood. There's actually a milk note in here, so I feel like, I don't know, were they inspired by this fragrance? You guys know? I do want to say that I did do a search online, and when I bought it, I noticed that there was already a bunch of reviews done for this fragrance. I didn't watch any reviews. I don't like to watch reviews. One, I don't have the time. I have a full-time job. I'm working my butt off with the whole COVID thing, with not having any of my associates come in to help out. But the other thing is, I don't want to be influenced by what other people are saying, because a lot of other reviewers get influenced, like with everyone. Because if a fragrance is leaning one side to the positive, then everybody starts leaning positive about it. So I don't like to do that. But in the end, I'm enjoying this. I just don't think it's worth $350. If you have this, only differences to me is it's just a little creamy, fruitier than this. I mean, as I said, you can totally layer the two together. One other thing you can do is get yourself like a Soliflor peach fragrance, and Soliflor basically means one note fragrance. Basically all it does is smell like peaches. And you basically, if you already have this, spray the peach down and then spray this on top, or vice versa. And that way you pretty much have this fragrance. If you already have this and you already end up with a peach of Soliflor, or just anything that's mostly about peaches as a fragrance, I think you can totally accomplish it. So that's my negative thoughts about this. I like the scent. I just don't think it's worth $350. Now, if they put it into their regular lineup, I think it would have been a better idea. So this is almost becoming like a milking machine, hence milky in here. But I should say that those are the negative things about it. One other thing before I let you go, the performance with this one. The performance with this one, I feel like gave me about an hour and a half of projection and loudness, but after that it was mostly a skin scent. I mean, if I moved around a little bit, I got some whiffs here and there. It just for me, with my experience, I feel like it doesn't have the sparkliness that this has in here. I think the milky quality of the sandalwood is making it not project as much. This one has major trail, as I said. It's one of the sexiest trails ever. The patchouli with this one on ladies is just amazing. Even when my mom wears it, I absolutely love the smell. But here, I don't think it can accomplish that. That's one of the other negatives about it. But it was decent performance, 5.5, 6.5. Wasn't able to get to 7 hours with this one. That several times I wore it. It's just mostly around 5.5 to 6 hours, maybe pushing it 6.5 hours. A couple times I also got 5 hours approximately. So in the end, it's a pretty solid release as a smell. It's been done before. It's overly priced. Then what do you guys do? Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you've sampled it. Let me know if you already have a bottle. Let me know what you think about it. And let me know, now that you've watched this video, are you curious to sample it and see what it's all about? One other thing I should mention is there's a fragrance by Zara called Feels Like Summer. It's sandalwood and apricots. Sort of similar to this. I think you can totally, if you already have that, which is like 30 ml bottle for like 15 bucks on Zara, you should be able to layer the two to kind of accomplish something like this. I don't have my bottle here. It's somewhere back there, which I don't have with me. I'll cut in a photo. But if you have that fragrance and you have Angel, you might be able to accomplish something similar to that, to this bitter peach if you have the two. It'll be not peach, of course, it'll be apricots, but it's apricots, oranges, and sandalwood. Layer it with Angel, and you might have something similar to this. Those are my thoughts. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching today's video on Tom Ford's Bitter Peach and how I think it compares to Mugler's Angel. Oh, one more thing I want to say. Just one more thing. A couple of things. What this reminds me of is several other Mugler Angel kind of clones, not necessarily clones or inspired fragrances, because one thing this reminds me of totally is something from Bond Number 9 called Nuits de Noho. It totally reminds me of that. When I used to speak about that brand a lot, I don't speak about them anymore, but I had to bring it up because this did remind me of that. The whole angel inspiration thing, or in smelling like angel thing, reminded me of that fragrance. I gave a bottle of that to my mom one year, a long time ago, when I was into the brand, but I'm not so into the brand. But it reminds me of that. There's also something, Laurence Dumont has a vanilla chocolate combo fragrance. This also kind of reminds me of, but it's more of the fruity version of that. So I feel like they might have been inspired by Mugler. I could be totally wrong, but is it a mistake that they came up with something like this and I'm thinking it reminds me of Angel? Do you guys think this? If you've already sampled it, let me know. Put some comments down so I can find out. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching today. If you have any questions or comments, please list below. Otherwise, please like this video, please share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.